All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode. This time, Will's back, and before we get into anything, I got to read a comment because you guys have gotten out of hand with this whole co-host thing. This is turned into way more than I ever thought. One mishap. This all sparked because I said it wrong for one episode. Yeah. But this comment from last week had me rolling on the floor.
Let the truth speak. Wait, what comment?
Oh, this comment said,
when I wasn't
next week on the Will and Isaac Pickleball Show, they will be featuring an up-and-coming paddle reviewer named Chris Olson. I was like, gosh dang it.
Oh, legendary. Legendary.
It's so funny. There are some clever comments, man. People have actually come up with some clever variants of this.
Oh, man. I just love that they're running with the joke. Dude, I don't know if you followed me or some people followed me when I was gone because I was in California, but everywhere I went, that's what everybody said. Yo, man, it's the host of the Pickleball Studio podcast. And every single facility I went to, if they knew I was coming, there'd be a sign in front saying, "Hey, welcome Pickleball Will, the host of the Pickleball Studio podcast." And I'm dying the whole time.
It's too funny. It's too funny. But yeah. Anyways, guys, this week we're going to go over some of the new ProXRs, Will's trip to California, talking about some of the recent UPA news about paddles, and then just a few other things here and there, a couple other paddles. So let's get right into it, Will.
Let's do it. I miss you guys. Hopefully you guys miss me. And but also shout outs to Isaac. You and Isaac did a great job. I guess last episode I watched some of that. The camera movements were nice. It just makes things so much easier to have us to have everybody in the same room, It's
so much easier. Like the biggest thing that I found, you and I have experienced this many times when we've done pods in person, but the flow of conversation is so much more natural in person versus even FaceTime, which is not that delayed. There's enough of a delay to where in a real conversation, sometimes you'll talk over people a little bit and like cut them off. You can't really do that in this because you don't know when someone's actually done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been doing it for however long, and I think we found some success. I would say we found some pretty good success. Thank you guys out there. Shout outs to all you guys always tuning in, watching, listening. So we appreciate that. Anyways, let's get into the news and the updates.
Yep.
Looks like you have some products you wanted to go over, and I actually have one as well. So yeah, why don't you go first?
Cool. Yeah, I'll just run through these two really quickly. You guys have heard me talk about this before, but I thought since summer was here again, it was probably relevant to mention. But Storyi, literally just the word story, and then the letter I, sun sleeves. There was someone in Pickleball, I saw like an Instagram reel like a year and a half ago, and I went and bought these. All they are, they're just sun sleeves, but I hate putting on sunscreen because I never reapply it, so I end up burning anyways. I end up feeling really gross. The sun sleeves, they just block the sun, but also when like air hits them, like it cools your arm quite a bit. So I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of these. I have a bunch of them. Now that it's summer, I'm putting them on again. So if you're in hot climate and you also hate sunscreen like me, I would recommend picking them up. So I'll leave a link in the description. Code PB Studio should save you some money on that. I think they are great. And also, if people are wondering, when I first heard about these, I was like, there's no way when it's hot outside that my arms aren't going to feel like they're suffocating. I actually feel like they're better with them on than with them off, particularly if it gets super hot. Like Kansas last year was 110 degrees. I would you dump water on them, feels so good. It literally, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really good.
Do you know is that you're steaming yourself alive. It's okay though. I'm just kidding. I haven't tried them, but they look really good. And I mean, I've met other people who use them. I haven't used them myself personally, but people swear by them. So
yeah,
good stuff.
I got the whole family on them now. Isaac, Sarah, and me. I guess I haven't got Patrick yet, but
shoot, you guys need to go playing, I don't know, basketball or something, as well. Start dunking on people, protect your arm when you're, doing the honey dip dunk, right?
There you go. And then last thing for me really quick, if you guys are planning to pick up a Hesacore, I'm probably going to review these sometime next month. I've been using them on my primary paddles, but I finally got a discount code set up with them. So PB Studio will save you like 10% or something like that. So if you're interested, check it out. Not going to tell you it's the best thing ever because I think it's highly individualized, but I like them so far.
Yeah, they're just a pain to get on and off.
Dude, no, there's a trick. I learned about the trick.
What's the trick?
And I'm even going to say it this time so the guy doesn't throw a tantrum. Incredible from my Discord.
Yes.
If you put rubbing alcohol on the grip and then inside the Hesacore, literally slides on so easy, like 10 seconds.
Okay. And does it slide off though, or does...
At the end, you just roll it off. Like if you want to take it off, it rolls off super easy. That takes like 5 seconds.
Okay. All right. We'll have to see it. Looking forward to the review and you doing that. Okay.
I will say, if I didn't know that trick, I would probably hate these things because putting them on without that sucks.
Yeah, I bet. Yep. Okay, well, now I know. I had to do it once, like for somebody else, and it was a pain in the ass, but I didn't have rubbing alcohol with me. I wonder if there's any other solutions that you could also use that would probably
People
work.
say if you soak it in warm water, the grip, that also works. I haven't tried that because this other one worked so well.
I just feel like if you're using it, the solution inside, once it, becomes tight, right, forms to the grip, it would just still be slippery, or it's still on the grip, or no, it just
no.
slip off?
I just dry it off with a towel really quick. No issues. I've never had like liquid seep through,
or it doesn't slide off. Okay, well that's cool. All right,
yeah.
Well, back to what you're saying about sunscreen. Sunscreen is annoying, and honestly, sunscreen is only good if you apply and reapply, and of course, you're covering yourself up, but it's hard to cover up your face. I found a sunscreen that I really like from SuperGoop. Some of you may know it, but you can get it on Amazon, but they have a version called Unseen Sunscreen, and it is the most smooth sunscreen. Once you apply it, it automatically kind of goes away. There's no residue or anything, and your hands feel dry and clean. I don't know how to describe it, but you have to check that one out. I think you'd like that. I got some of my friends, I got Nam onto it. It just feels like it sounds, unseen. So that's one you should definitely check out.
So you don't have to wash your hands after it?
No, when you put it on, the residue is not there. It's very smooth, and then once you put it on, it instantly goes away. It's a very interesting sensation on your face. You definitely have to check it out. It's actually really cool.
Oh, okay. I will check it out because it's still the only other place I have is my neck. Really, that I neck
kind
and
of use it. Yeah, I kind of use it for my neck as well. I just use my face and kind of my neck as well, and that's basically the only one that I use now. And it's just super easy and just nice to apply. And with sunscreen, the thing is that you forget to apply it, and when you're about to reapply it, it's just a pain. And obviously, sunscreen is only effective if you actually continually reapply it as directed,
And that's why I use the sun sleeves, because I wouldn't reapply it.
Right. All right. Cool. Okay. Next up, some paddles. Paddle talks, right? New ProXR Paddles. So, Chris, what do you think about them?
So we filmed our first look this week. As soon as they dropped, I had quite a few people asking me about them. So I was like, okay, we'll bump this up in the priority queue and get this filmed. So we went in, took them all out, and then compared them against the last one, or I guess just Zane's
the original
last year.
Yeah, the ugly one.
Yeah, it's so much better looking now. Good job, guys. Good job. Did you see that Instagram reel they did where Zane was like, our only goal was to make sure Chris didn't call this one ugly?
Yes, I did see that.
I thought it was so funny. I was like, you know what? Props to you for leaning into the joke. That's the best way to do it.
Right, exactly. Well, they knew it was ugly. Everybody knew it was ugly. There's just... Come on. I don't think anybody saw it except for Zayd, who was like, oh, yeah, this is the best looking thing out there, or that it wasn't ugly. I mean, come on. That's why I let him live, Shoot.
For sure.
Anyways, you liked it, though? Or what was your thoughts on it?
I think it is, in my opinion, it is just a better version in pretty much every way from what they released last year. Now, the caveat I'm going to give is that if you particularly loved the paddle last year because it was super headlight, because it was actually one of the most headlight paddles that you could buy on the market, that was elongated, it is not anymore. My swing weights, I have a couple of them, and they range between 119 and 123 for a 13 millimeter. So that's high for something that thin.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think it made good improvements. It feels stiffer. It plows through the ball better. I get more pop, more power.
What was the swing weight of the old one? 114?
111.
111. Okay, that's pretty low. I think it's a vast improvement. Maybe this is why I like this model more. I was surprised that they went to a 13 and not kept the 14. Do you think they're doing to maybe shave off some weight?
Could be. I mean, that's a good guess. With how high they went for a 13 millimeter, that could have been a good reason too.
Okay. I mean, it's still really good. Still spins like really nice. Like that grid on that is still questionable in terms of legality, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, no, I did think they were better. The 16 millimeter, I thought was a really nice addition. The only thing I'll say about that
I didn't even know they made a 16 millimeter. I only got the 13 millimeter variants and I guess the standard shape.
Yep, they made a 16, shape. And I think it's nice to have because like it feels really nice. The resets are obviously better. If I was picking one, I'd probably be picking the 16, but that's usually my preference anyways. And the other thing I'll say though, I don't understand companies and how they screw up the handles all the time.
Wait, what's wrong with this handle?
The 13 has a fine handle. It's great. The 16, it's so square. It feels like you're holding a block in your hand.
Okay.
And I'm like, why? Like other companies have figured out how to make great 16. The variance amongst handles in pickleball blows my mind. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah, you would have thought with, the crazy handles that ProXR makes, they could have gotten this part right, but I guess not.
Maybe they ran a test group and this is what people wanted, but in my mind, I don't know who would be asking for this.
Okay, I want to know if they ran test groups for their old handles with the whatever the flared out thing, whatever they called it. And I wonder if that test group told them that they loved it, because I don't see that anymore. Right?
That's true. Anymore. Zane fixed that up for him. I think they got the message that knob needed to go. But yeah, I think the way I would describe these, if you guys basically just want an early opinion of it, if you liked the old ones but just wish it plowed through the ball more or had more stability, these are basically, and like just hits harder, these are just it. Like it's not a world changing upgrade. When I said this in my review or my first look, but their marketing page was so bland for what they changed. It's probably the most bland announcement I've ever seen from a big company, but I also kind of give them props for it because at least they didn't try to overhype it like other companies do. Like, yeah, I give them props for that. They didn't try to oversell it.
I don't even know if I'm going to do, I'll probably do like a first look, but there definitely wouldn't be a full review. And my review could have honestly been, okay, they swing a little bit heavier, higher swing weight, and they fixed the aesthetics. Good job. And that would have been it.
It could be a YouTube short.
Yeah, like literally. But other than that, I mean, I still think Zane's paddle, it was still a good paddle, even though it was ugly. It was actually it probably would have been in like my top 10, maybe top 15, because it's elongated, it's fast, and there wasn't that combination out there. So I'm a little sad to see that the swing weight has increased a bit, because now there's not too many paddles out there with like elongated paddles with lower swing weights. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think the first one that kind of comes to mind is probably the Thrive Rush 13. You can get that in like a 115 and that's fully elongated and square. So yeah, but the sweet spot, I think because of the higher swing weight on the new ProXRs they do feel better. Like they do have more plow through, and I actually really enjoyed, what do they call it? The wider shape, the standard shape, the sweet spot.
They call it like the sweet spot max.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I think a lot of people will like that one as well. But yeah, good job, ProXR. Pretty good paddles. Cool. Yep. And all the colors. The colors are dope too.
They did do good with the colors. I like those.
The Arctic one and the purple.
Yep.
Fire.
Agreed.
All right. Next up, one of the hottest paddles out on the market lately. This has been a lot of buzz. The J2K. Yeah?
Yeah. So gotten to hit this more because I was comparing it with the Ruby 14, which my video will come out tomorrow on that. So I've just been getting to hit it more. It's one of those paddles I should have been hitting sooner, but you know how it goes. There's always paddles to be reviewing. But honestly, I get the hype behind it. I think it's really good. Like with the code, it's under 140. The stability is like crazy for the shape that it's in. It still hits it's not a power paddle, but it still has such clean hits. Like
I would describe it as
nice.
It's more like all court to me. Like
I
think it's all court. I don't even know if it leans power, but definitely all court. You can make it
sure.
all court. You can make it lean power with, some weight distribution with some lead tape or tungsten tape in certain spots. But yeah, super solid paddle.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where we'll see what comes out the rest of the year. Obviously, we're only halfway through the year, but I could easily see where it's one of the best paddles this year because that price is really appealing. The performance is there. Like, it's good. It's just good. I like it a lot. That's really all I have to say.
Did your video review come out on it yet? I know John made one.
No, I haven't done a review on it. It probably isn't going to happen until I'd like it to happen sometime in July, but with us doing the move in July, I also I'm going to be out of town 2 times in July. It's like, it's going to be a mess. So
yeah, well, I'll be out of town too. July is going to be, you guys, man, it's going to be rough for you guys out there looking for content from Chris and myself in July.
Oh, no.
You know.
I'm trying to build up 2 weeks of content so that while I'm doing the move, we're good.
Okay. Nice. We'll talk more about that more. But yeah, so you like it. You like it better than Double Black Diamond, Ruby. I feel like that's where people compare it most to.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They're all hybrids. I would need to pull out my Double Black Diamond to directly compare. But my thoughts as I've been hitting it the last few days is I would take it over a Ruby and over a Double Black Diamond, which is crazy to say for the Double Black Diamond because I've loved that paddle for a long time. But I kind of just, at least with how it feels right now, like there's not really a characteristic that I think the Double Black Diamond does better. So we'll see.
Except for
obviously,
looks.
Yeah, the looks on the Double Black Diamond definitely better. The looks
better.
on the Honolulu paddles, those could use a brand makeover
they're not
for the face.
bad. They're not bad, but I don't think they're great either. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to make a video and I was supposed to compare like the Ruby, the J2Ks, like and the J2K Pro and the Azul. I've been working on that. That should be coming out hopefully end of this week, but we'll see. But for those of you guys who are curious, I would rank them in terms of like, I think the Azul is kind of a little bit of an outlier because like it hits completely, in my opinion, different from the other 3, right? It's just like a power, in my opinion, it's a power paddle. And then, yeah, the J2K I think feels a little bit better than the Ruby. And the J2K, what do you think about the J2K Pro?
I haven't hit it yet.
Okay, I hit it and I really can't tell that much of a difference, but I find myself gravitating towards the J2K. It just, I don't know what it is. It just feels better or feels more solid. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Chris, you've been, how's your back, dude? You've been, I see right here, physical therapy. It's been paying off.
It is definitely paying off. This week was probably the most pickleball I have played in a really long time. And it wasn't even really intentional. Like there was just a decent amount of work. And then this weekend I got asked to play a bunch. But I think I literally played every single day this week. And then this weekend Saturday, I played 4 times in one day.
Oh, really?
And 3 of those were high level games. And then the 4th one was just like super casual with some friends who were like learning the game. So
I see.
You know,
so when you
that
say
one was more chill.
High level games, what are you talking like 4-0, 4-2? Is that what you mean?
5-0. Thank you very much. 5-0, Will. Thank you very much.
I didn't know, shoot. I know you've been improving. You've been out of the game for so long. I was like, I was afraid that you would be 3-5, maybe not at best anymore. You'd actually just be
3 1/4.
Yeah, or just 3-5 like straight, without the best moniker. So I mean, high level games could have been 4-0, and 4-5 that might as well have been pro for you. You know what I mean?
That's Shoot, too funny. But no, it has the physical therapy is definitely paying off. Like I don't think I could have done this even a month or 2 months ago. I think I would have been absolutely nuked. So it was kind of a good week to test like, how am I actually doing? So I'm going again tomorrow to have like a checkup on everything. So I'm kind of excited to tell them about the results, but
nice.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. All right. I've also took my first session to help with my shoulder. Some of you may know, like my left shoulder easily like pops out and it's a lot of like mobility for me, like in my back. And it happened again when I was in California. Actually, Nam, our good buddy Nam, took me out surfing and yo, we were literally in there for like 4 or 5 minutes, and one of the waves came, and then I was trying to paddle out. He's like, yo, you need to paddle harder. I tried paddling hard, and as soon as it happened, I was like, ah, and then it popped, and I was in the water. Nam looked back, he's like, yo, what? I was just kidding. Did you get bit by a shark? I was just kidding. There's no shark. I was like, no, bro, I popped my shoulder. He's like, what? So he had to, he was far out, so he had to throw his board away, and he had to come swim and help me back to shore, and I couldn't even get back on the board that he lent me. I was in so much pain, and then he had to like basically grab my legs and toss me. And while that was happening, there's this large wave that just came over and crashed on us. It was just, oh man, it was horrible.
Was that scary at all?
Oh heck yeah, it was scary. Are you kidding me? I'm terrified.
Because you can't like swim well with one arm.
No, you cannot swim very well with one arm. No, trust me, I know. I experienced it. So I'm glad you can imagine how it was like. But yeah, I got back to shore somehow. Shout out to Nam. Like he grabbed me by my legs and just kind of like pushed me and helped me forward. And as soon as I got back, because it's really hard, because once you're in water, it kind of just floats there, like, you know. And so it's like maybe not as painful, but I'm like, okay, well, I can't pop it back in. So once I got to shore, popped it back in, and I'm like, yep, I think I'm done for the day.
Dude, okay, so was that, obviously you've been dealing with this for a while since I've known you, your shoulders been able to do this. Was this just finally scary enough that you were like, I need to go deal with this? Or
well, no, not necessarily. Like I had already scheduled my session after my California trip. It just so happened that it happened right before my session. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, but yeah, I was like, okay, I need to do this. Like, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just have not made it a priority. But definitely that last session was pretty scary, just like being in the water. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, it's time to like take this way more seriously and really just figure out what the problem is and what I can do. I know some people have taken surgery and whatnot, and I'm like, nah, let's try to avoid that if possible, because I know people who've taken surgery and they still have the same issues, like, you know, because it's not really an issue. Like a lot of it is a mobility issue with the shoulder blade and your back, and, you know, because we're all hunched up like this, you know, we're on the computer all the time, and so I don't get flexibility and mobility back there, you know. So it's a work in progress, but I mean, my first session was great. It was with my friend and local pickleball player here. Shout outs to Genevieve. Genevieve, if you're listening, shout outs to you. Just helping me stretch that. And so it's good that she also plays pickleball, so she knows like the motions and stuff that I need to do. So that's been nice.
Nice. Well, physical therapy bros.
Yeah, physical therapy bros. Well, I mean, I don't know who has it worse, me or you, but hopefully we won't have it worse anymore. Either.
Because I feel like both of ours, in its worst case scenario,
it's pretty bad.
Is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've just explained to you that scenario I just did of me going surfing. Yeah. Oh my god, dude, I just know now because Nam was there, dude. After we got off the beach, right? People were calling Nam or whatever. He's talking to Garrett from Carbon. And dude, he's just telling the story to everybody. He's like, bro, we just came back surfing. He's like, oh, how was it? He's like, bro, we weren't even there for like 4 minutes. And this fool Will pops his shoulder. I had to throw my board and, you know, Baywatch his back to shore. And I'm just like, I just know this is going to be a common story that he's going to be telling, like, you know, to me and to his friends for like years to come. Like, you know,
that's very funny. That's very funny. Okay. Anyways, well, one of the last things I have for news is the new second generation Vulcan Ball was announced, because we all know the first one sucked. So I went to the website just to see if it was priced differently. It was like, you know, I'll order some. I should just talking point for a podcast or something.
Yeah.
The price dropped drastically. So
drastically. How much?
They used, I think when it first launched, and they changed the price like same day, I think, but it was like $450. Then it maybe went to $400. But like, if you bought one of the cheaper packs, it was basically $5 a ball. I think if you bought a 12 pack, it was $5 a ball, which is insane, because Franklin's were like $200 to $250 a ball, and Duro was like $300 to $350. So it was crazy. Anyways, the 100 pack you can buy for $250, and if you find a discount code, it's like $200. So $2 a ball is way more reasonable. I was like, heck, I'll just buy a 100 pack at that price. I was like, why not?
Yeah. But have you played with it? Does it play any better?
No, I won't have it till mid-July probably.
Okay, because
it was played just pre-order.
Man, it was my first time competing with it, at the Texas Open. Like, was it last month? Right? Was that last month? Yeah. Man, that ball sucks. Like the original Vulcan ball sucks. So I hope they made some improvements. I don't know, either that or they made it cost like how much it's actually worth. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't suck anymore either, because my groups have been playing with Franklins a lot, and I'm like, man, I never thought I would be happy to be playing with a Franklin, but I was like, I'm having way more fun playing with a Franklin. I was like, hands battles actually exist again. I was like, you combined a Dura in the colder weather and then these power paddles. I was like, it was 2 balls and it was over, or 1 ball and it was over. Now it's like, ooh, we actually get to smack the ball back and forth a bunch.
Yeah, it feels like pickleball.
And you know what? Here's the great thing about Franklin. As much as we've ragged on him in the past, what I have to give Franklin props for with that ball is it's got to be the least fussy ball in pickleball. The thing barely cracks. It just goes soft, and I don't even have them go out a round. I'm not saying they don't. I'm sure they're capable of going out a round. But in our groups, they're fine.
Yeah, as long as it comes out of the box round, it's usually not a problem. Because sometimes you get some that are just wobbly, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a wasted ball. Let's grab another one from the box or from the can or whatever. Yeah. All right. Well, when's that coming out?
July 8th is July 8th when they ship? I think it's somewhere around there, but it's a pre-order right now, and then around that time is when they'll ship.
Okay. Well, hopefully the pros like it. Everybody likes it for Vulcan's sake. So, I mean, for our sake, when we go to tournaments, at least for the PPA tournaments. I haven't been seeing, I've been seeing more different balls at tournaments now, like my local tournaments and stuff. We play Pro S1s, core balls for like league or duper, like MILP style events. Use the core ball. And yeah, just, I don't know. It makes it difficult to practice with. I'm not gonna lie. Still use the Duraball even in some tournaments around here too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna quickly go over. Just some highlights from my California trip. I went there mainly to hang out with some of my buddies, but also chill with Nam, go to a shop, learn more about the paddle making process. It was a really fun trip. Shout outs to Nam, Right Side Will, for bringing me to games, taking care of me. And
Right Side Will's on my blacklist now. After I know he made that pickleball studio, you're being the host sign. I saw the Instagram stories. I know who was all a part of this. I keep receipts, everyone. And when I come back there in July,
you're not showing
I got
up.
bones to pick, and I know they're listening. I know they're listening.
Oh, dude, no, we have fans out there, for sure. There's a few people at some of the socials I went to that had my paddle, and I think that was just kind of like crazy to see,
Yeah.
like people that like aren't that I don't know personally who have my paddles and are playing with it, actually playing with it. And I mean, some of them liked it. I mean, I don't know if they told me. Or if they know me, I guess they wouldn't lie to me. Maybe they would. I don't know. But most of them who were playing with it, they liked it. Some people who played with it didn't even know, and they played against me. They didn't even know it was me. I didn't say anything. But
that's funny.
Yeah. What's really funny is that anybody and everybody that I played with, like against it, who had my paddle, right? I didn't lose. And I also would win. One of the guys of oh my gosh, I forgot his name, but he came up to me. He's a fan of the show. He asked me to sign the paddle, and we got into a rec game together. I think I pickled him. And guess who I pickled him with?
What?
With Jeremy? No, not paddle. Like my partner is Jeremy.
Oh,
do you know
nice.
Jeremy?
Of course, of course.
For you listening out there, you don't know Jeremy. Do you know Jeremy's last name?
Burns.
All right. Jeremy is essentially the godfather of the 3.5 at best joke, because
that's true.
He commented on my video where you and I played each other, and he was like, I played Chris once. He came to California. He's 3.5 at best. And I just ran with it. So I got to meet him. We played some games. It was a lot of fun. And I think back to the story, I played a few other people near the end of the night who was playing with my paddle. And I also I think I also won 11-2, 11-3, 11-4. And then people who know me, they're like, dude, I think you have a microchip or something in your paddle. It's it can't betray you because it knows it's playing against you, so it can't do well. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely what it is.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
that was good. Oh, I got to play Padel. I recorded a few clips. I'll probably try to
cool.
make some video on it. Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. I might change my YouTube channel. I might become Padel Will, because Padel is so much fun. Like,
Nice. I still want to
yeah.
try it.
Yeah. I don't know how well you do. I'm not going to lie to you. It might be really tough for you.
I don't feel like I'd be good at it, but we'll see.
The balls are coming fast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They're coming pretty hard.
You know what? Maybe that's what I'll
do.
do. I'll play Padel for a month, and then pickleball will feel like cake.
Oh my gosh, dude, playing Padel, because the paddles are so heavy, and you don't do anything wrist, like very little wrist, at least when you're starting off. Everything is like slice and backspin. If you have a good tennis volley, that will do you really good in Padel. If you topspin stuff, it's almost like, I mean, you can still do it, but you have to do it like really well, but you're pretty much done. Like, you need backspin on most things. And yeah, I went to go play Padel, and later that evening I went to go play pickleball. Oh my gosh, pickleball was like slow motion. I was like, what?
Yeah,
You're playing with the Yola Gen 3? Like, what is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm like the Flash out here,
You're like,
or
I just
Quicksilver.
came from playing against a Gen 5.
Yeah, exactly. I came from a real sport, and now I'm playing this backyard game. It's easy money. That's what it felt like.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So that was cool. Shout outs to Nam and Garrett from Carbon. I went to Carbon HQ, talked to Garrett, tested out some paddles that, I mean, you probably know what it is, but I can't really talk about it too much. I signed an NDA, but I played with some
let's
pretty
not get you in
amazing
trouble.
paddles. Yeah. And I'll give a shout out to Brody as well. Remember Brody?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Can't forget.
You can't forget. Yeah, dude, it was so funny. Brody was like, he saw my post. He said, "Oh, thanks for the invite, bro. You telling me you're in town." And I was like, "Who are you?" And then he gave me the middle finger emoji. I thought it was hilarious. But shout out to Brody.
That's perfect.
He can take a good joke.
That's funny.
And also, I'm gonna be making a video on like kind of like just paddle construction in general. I learned so much about like carbon fiber, and that could be its own separate video, and how like the sheets and the plies are made, and then how you put the paddle together. There's a lot of information and knowledge that kind of filled in the gaps that I had. I think you and I, and maybe probably John and Braden, we know a lot, but it's like knowing a lot, but then seeing it in person, seeing it actually applied is something completely different. It really, like, I don't know, it makes our knowledge base like that much better. So I recorded some of that. So can't wait to show you guys. That might take a while because I just don't want to get anything wrong, but that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I also made a custom paddle here. I'm going to show you guys. Check this out. See this paddle right here, guys? Okay. Pickleball Will. All right. This is a pretty interesting paddle. Okay. I'll tell you more about it later, but this is the coolest part. Okay. Right here. Can y'all see this? You see what this says, Chris? Y'all see what this says? It says the true host. This is what this paddle is called.
Guy.
Whoever has this paddle is the true host of the Pickleball Studio. I just want to let you know. I might make a second one called the co-host. I'll send it to you, okay? And you'll be all right. Anyways,
I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna steal that.
no. Okay, here's what we'll do. Okay, if you find next time I meet up with me, okay, you can challenge me. Okay, if you beat me, I don't know, singles or doubles. We'll lay out the rules. If you beat me and I play with this paddle, you can take it off my hands, and then you can then become the true host of the Pickleball Studio. Basically, whoever has this paddle will be the true host. Maybe,
Bro, be
we'll
careful. Somehow Zane's gonna challenge you, and I can't have Zane be a part of this.
Could you imagine if we just like held a tournament or something, or you just have this in your bag, and like some fans or somebody from the audience challenges us, and then like we give it to them. Okay, now you're the true host of the Pickleball Studio.
Now, how would you get it back?
I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't get it back. It would just travel across the country, like to different people. I don't know. Let us know in the comments if that's something that you would find interesting. Maybe because you and I, we travel a lot, and if we'll have to make some rules. Like either you beat us, like either in singles, or you have to beat both of us, and one of us has to do the paddle, or you have to body bag Chris or something. Like there's some parameters, and once you've marked them off, you will then be gifted the true host paddle. Okay, maybe.
It's too
we'll
funny.
See.
That is
We'll
hilarious.
see. All right. Anyways, real quick, and we'll move on. This paddle right here is about 14 millimeters. It's triple core, Inside the center is a 2 polypropylene cores on top and underneath a layer of like I think 4-ply, like a carbon fiber sheet, essentially to give it some stiffness. So I played with it, dude. It's very akin to what the Diadem Warrior and maybe the Pro Drive. You know, they have like 3-layer cores, so very similar in concept. But I made it, and it actually plays nice. The sweet spot is a little small on it, but it actually plays pretty good. So I don't know. You can hit with it next time. You're not going to like it because I was too lazy to cover up the exposed polymer in the handle. So yeah. Sorry.
Bruh, you gotta cover that up.
You had one job, Will. This guy goes to make paddles, knows the number one pet peeve of Chris, and doesn't do it. Yeah, no, I left it out just to piss you off. That's why.
It worked. Okay.
Moving
Let's
on.
move
Primary
on to the main topic. This was, I'm sure you had to have heard about this week, but basically, I've heard all sorts of different things about how this, like, it was a rumor, and then, like, it's kind of not a rumor. Like, heard lots of different things. So we're just gonna cover all of this. Basically, Rob Nunnery tweeted this week and said, allegedly, the PPA Tour is going to charge paddle brands $100,000 per year and $5,000 per paddle certification in 2025. USA Pickleball approved paddles will be sunset at the end of 2025 for UPA events, which just means they will then be certifying their own amateur paddles in 2026. Or if you want to use an amateur paddle in 2026, the paddle will have to be on their approved list. So this comes out. Everyone goes nuts. Understandably so. That's an insane amount of money compared to current.
Yes. What is the current prices right now to get something approved for at the USAP?
I can't remember if it's $1,500 for like their rush processing, and then it's cheaper for the regular, or if $1,500 is the standard and then it's up from there. But regardless, it's like, let's just say for now it's $1,500 a paddle. So nowhere close to that $100,000 per year thing. So, and then not to mention $5,000 per paddle on top of that. So this whole thing comes out, news goes everywhere. People are making videos, people are chatting about it, and then Connor Pardo's like tweeting at the Dink and is like, hey, if you want to report on real news, like, why don't you talk to us? And then Jason Aspis was on Facebook and basically saying, like, look, these are just rumors. Like, it's not happening like this. So on, blah, blah, blah. So as far as I understand, by the time this podcast comes out, there's going to be an official announcement.
Okay.
But it won't have pricing. So that's the thing everyone cares about, though.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that, and plus UPA becoming the governing body, right? I think that's the main thing. I mean, obviously the price is like the shocker, but UPA obviously becoming a governing body for paddles, just, I don't know, it seems like complete control, you know? And I think a lot of people don't like that. I'm sure the companies don't like that, especially if they're going to sticker them with the price. Like, why is it so, how did they land on that? Like, they want to consolidate, you know, the market? Like, what, like, why do that?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. So I did talk to Jason Aspis a little bit about some of this, and I think I shared some of my concerns of like, look, you guys have to realize how this looks, right?
Yeah, the optics
like,
do not look good.
No, the optics don't look good, particularly given the PPA's history of like appearing greedy, like, and then somehow this comes out. That was
so greedy. Looks so greedy.
It was never going to make you look good. And I think he had some reasonably valid points. Some things I'm like, okay, look, we'll have to wait and see how this pans out. I'm like, if what you're telling me is correct, that's awesome. But given the track record, no one is actually going to believe that. So like, we need to see some action rather than just like, here's what we're going to do.
Can you tell us what he said to you?
I don't know, because there was like a lot of it that was like, here's what's on the record and like, here's what's off the record type of thing. So I was like,
oh gosh, Chris, okay, you're just burdened with knowledge. Well, I haven't talked to Jason. I know Jason as well. This is what it looks like to me. Okay. It does look like greedy, but also we know, like, you know, you're paying your pros a salary, you know, on top of prize pool money, right? You aren't making money. I don't know if you have big deals with streaming or with broadcasting, right? So you need to make money somewhere to pay your pros and obviously pay for your product, because I don't know if growth in advertising has gone up. I don't know the numbers, but this is what it looks like. You're using this as a way to pay your pros, like salaries for your pros. And we already knew before this was announced that the paddle brands are the ones that are giving the PPA probably in my opinion, probably a large chunk of their money, like Selkirk sponsoring them, Yola sponsoring them. You know what I mean? So this is what that looks like. They're looking at the only place that they can generate a revenue from or money from, and it's the paddle manufacturers. And now this is what they're doing again. Well,
and I mean, that is like would be a huge cash cow. I think USIP alone, like, it's kind of pretty obvious that you could generate good money from that. And then if you're doing it this way, not only could you have less paddle brands to have to certify and manage, which I think does make it easier to manage paddles if there's just less of them on the market getting approved. Now you have like smaller amounts of people to keep track of. Like, clearly USIP cannot keep track of all the companies out there right now. So if a smaller company goes and does something wild, it might take a while to get found out because there's so many of them. But where was I going to go with that? I don't know. Clearly how much it costs, they don't need the volume to make the money because it costs so much per paddle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if Yola went in and approved every single one of their paddles they have right now, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
14 millimeters, 16 millimeters, Hyperion, Perseus, Magnus, Scorpius, like, the list goes, Radius, Gen 2, there's a lot of them. So it goes on and on. But they make it sound like that's not going to be the price, or at least that it's not determined. But I can tell you right now, if they're
because they got all the backlash, they heard all this backlash, and now they're like, okay, let's not be it. I mean, I don't know, but until they make their official announcement, it had to be something
like that. Like, there's no way they didn't see this and go, maybe we can't charge that. That's a lot of money. But I'm telling you, if they're even close to those numbers, it's still going to be pushed back. Mm-hmm. I think my opinion is that there is a way to do this where you make the barrier to entry a little bit harder, but not unattainable by any means, but still like you're not going to go through that certification unless you're really committed. Right now with USIP, you can spin up a brand like nothing. You don't need that much capital to spin it up. But I'm just going to make up numbers. I have not thought through these numbers, but let's say you did let's say you're super committed to this yearly fee, and that's like the way you want to go. Maybe it's $15,000, $20,000, and then it's like, $2-3 per paddle or something. Now it's like, okay, small companies could still afford that, but like, you're not going to go blow that money if you're brand new and you don't know if it's worth it. Or maybe there is no yearly fee and the cost to certify each paddle is just higher. I think everyone is completely correct in being skeptical on this. It's because of the track record.
Yeah, the track record.
I feel like the PPA is always like, why do people think we're the bad guy? And I'm like, well, like, come on, look at the last 2 years. Like, you haven't given people a lot of reason to believe you're the good guy.
It's true. They just have bad brand right now, like reputation right now. So I don't know. You got to do something to, bring that back into light, Here's
what I told them. I said, look, if you guys do the things you claim you want to do, the prices are not insane. You actually treat the rules fairly across the board, no matter who the brand is, no matter who the player is. That's like whether their paddles being challenged or whatever. If the rules are applied fairly, the prices are not insane, and transparency and communication is good, you could win a lot of people over. But we need to actually see that that's going to happen.
I think they probably still need to get their product better for viewers first, like being able to see replays and other angles. I think they should spend the money. I mean, if they do get this money, they need to spend the money on that instead of, I don't even know what the salaries are for their pros, but I feel like they're paying the pros probably a lot. And I don't know, man. I'm going to tell you right now, aside from some of those top players, those pros, in my opinion, they don't bring viewership to their product. That's not what pushes the needle. So the product overall needs to be better. And maybe some of the pros will, but I don't know. Like we talked about this before. Is pickleball it comes down to money, right? When you're doing all this, the broadcasting and all that. And is it good enough? Right now, no. In my opinion, it's not. Like, I'm not there.
Grandstand court's an embarrassment. It shouldn't even be streamed with how bad it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, get that.
You could stream it better with an iPhone.
Yes, I know. We could do better on our iPhones. Like, it just needs to be better. Like, and then maybe you'll get more people to watch. Maybe the product will become entertaining, because like, it's not entertaining just because you have some amazing pros that you're paying salary for. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't see it. But I mean, you know, this is just this is part of being in pickleball, man. Like, we got crazy things that these news or rumors just popping up every other week, you know?
Yep.
All right.
Well,
anything else?
Anyways, a few other things I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a bit more I want to go over really quick. So a lot of people were like, dude, this is going to kill the small paddle brands. Like, they're just going to get nuked because of this. I actually don't agree with that.
Why not?
No, I think that initial reaction was about that in particular was way more harsh. And there's a few reasons I think that.
Why?
One, assuming USAP and APP aren't going to be dead. Now, granted, that pending YOLA lawsuit for USAP, who knows where that's going to go. So put a big asterisk over that. But let's say USAP and APP don't go anywhere. If you're a small brand, you can still start over there. And then let's say you hit it like 6-0. They were a small brand. Now they're a reasonably large brand. Now you could be approved in both tours, and like it probably makes like financial sense to do so. You know, for 2025, it's only going to impact the pros. So companies still have a year and a half before they even have to figure it out for the amateur side of things. And then my other thought is the smaller brands usually don't even sponsor pros. So again, 2025 doesn't really matter. Like,
let me see. There's a list. Bread and Butter, 11624, Spartus, Honolulu. What else you got?
Yep. Mark, Pickleball, Chorus, Rhombus, Neonic.
Yeah,
like,
they don't care.
Some of the most popular small brands don't even play in that arena. So 2025 doesn't matter. Now 2026, we'll see. And, you know, there may be other smaller brands, but I still think it won't kill them. And one of the things that I looked up just to be kind of positive about this is I was like, okay, if APP stays around, how's the competition stack up, right? Like, if you compare the registrations between APP and PPA, how's it look? If you compare their first 8 tournaments of this year, because I think APP's only had 8. I might not have counted 1 because it was like seniors only or something. But anyways, roughly their first 8 tournaments, APP had 8,600 competitors. PPA only had 7,700. So APP actually had more. But where it kind of falls apart, that argument a little bit, is PPA has had 4 more tournaments this year. And if you count that, they're at 12,000, and I think overall they'll have more tournaments this year. So the volume is higher. But regardless, APP is not like no one plays there. So I just feel like it's almost kind of like how the pro scene is right now. You want to get noticed, go to APP, work your way up the ranks, and then you make it to PPA.
Okay. All right.
So we'll see. I think it still would be a huge financial burden, but I don't think all of a sudden, like, these brands are just going to disappear. And if they do make the cost actually reasonable for testing, I think they'll still be around. So I don't know. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but I kind of thought that was extreme.
Okay, no, I think that's fair. But like, only the pros can play with approved paddles. So I guess after, what was it, 2025 or whatever the year?
Starting 2025.
Okay, so does that mean that's for the amateurs too? Like, you can't play?
No, just the pros.
So just the pros. So it's always just the pros.
Oh, for 2025, and then it sounds like in 2026 they want to do amateur certification as well. But 2025, like, if you're going to play a pro event, you have to use like a UPA certified paddle.
Okay, but that still kind of sucks. Like, if you're a smaller brand and you don't care, like, why, you know, like, it would be stupid if I'm an amateur and I can't go play a PPA just because, like, the paddle I want to use is not approved. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I mean, I still think it would be ridiculous. The fact that we would have 2 governing bodies, period, is stupid. Like, I think that is not the goal we should be striving for at all. The only thing that has made me wonder if it's going to be as terrible as I've thought it was, is I've had several people talk to me about how I think it's softball, they have 2 governing bodies and like different leagues have different bats approved. And it sounds like people have just gotten used to like, well, I can use this bat over here and I use this bat over here.
Okay, well, great. That'll make our job as paddle reviewers even better.
Dude, I was already thinking about it. I was like, man, am I going to have 3 playlists? UPA certified paddles, USAP certified paddles, and then paddles that are certified in both.
Both? Oh, gosh. It just sounds so dumb. But whatever. I guess we'll see how it shakes out.
Here's what I would say. If there is a world where testing actually gets good and paddles become better because of it, and quality standards have to raise because these companies can't get away with some of this crap anymore, that would be great. I mean, like, as much as USAP has tried to do stuff, I don't really feel like it's resulted in any real changes across the industry yet. Mm-hmm. So if UPA can do that, that's cool, but remains to be seen for now. Anyways, before I move on a little bit more, I got just a few other things I want to say.
Yeah.
One area that I think it would particularly suck for is up-and-coming pros who are doing qualifiers and are currently sponsored by, like, you know, maybe some smaller local brands. Like, let's say you have someone over there that, like, you're friends with, they spin up a paddle company and they sponsor, like, a friend and they just go play a pro event. Like, yeah, that person's definitely not going to be able to use that paddle. So now those people playing qualifiers who are already not making a lot of money now are cut off from those really small brands who are just like giving them paddles. Maybe they don't even have to cover entry fees. Now they have to buy their own paddles that are certified. They have to show up to these tournaments really early because sometimes qualifiers are like Tuesday or Wednesday. You might get knocked out early and then go home. Like, that barrier only gets harder for the PPA. Like, you almost certainly have to start an APP at that point.
Yeah. And then that might be actually, honestly, that might be, do you think that could be detrimental to the PPA? I mean, that's kind of like, if that happened, that's kind of a boon for the APP. Like, you have to start there. And I mean, most people do already, but it's like you get more talent. And let's just say the APP improves their product or what have you. More people are now playing at the APP. It's like, oh, why not just stay with the APP? And now the APP gets more players, gets more talent, can generate more revenue, you know? So that could be basically what the PPA is doing is what I'm saying is that it could have a detrimental effect to their participation for their tournaments, at least on the amateur level, maybe in the pro level, like, you know, like.
Well, I was thinking the pro qualifier level, because I think that's actually a really good point, because if those pros who are up and coming and rely a little bit on being able to get free paddles from, like, maybe some of those smaller companies.
Yeah, or getting a small stipend or whatever, small sponsorship deals. Yeah.
Yeah, like, why would you, if you can have that and do it at APP, why would you? Also, like, in PPA, here's the thing. If you're an up-and-coming pro, if you're not, like, really, really good, I kind of feel like the qualifier is pointless anyways, because what are you going to do? Go there, make it through the qualifier, and get knocked out first round by Ben? Whereas maybe in APP, you could have a slightly deeper run. Like, maybe you make it into a quarter or something. So I think that's a good point. Like, that could steal away a lot of the qualifier people. And those, from what I feel like I've heard, fill up a lot this year. So that would be some business that's getting stolen. And now APP has more up-and-coming pros.
Yeah. Who knows?
Huh? That's actually interesting.
Yeah, sometimes I have good takes. Sometimes, you know.
Sometimes. This is why we keep around occasionally.
This is why I'm the host of the Pickleball Studio podcast, and you are just
he's
the
got
co-host.
one good idea, and he thinks he gets to be the host. Good idea.
That's all I need. That's all the host needs. Okay, that's all the true host really needs. Anyways, anything else you got for this topic?
No, not much. I mean, at this point, I guess we've already said it, but, like, I'm skeptical for now. We'll see if it goes anywhere. All I want to know is that number. That number of what it's going to cost is what everyone really wants to know. I don't think anyone cares about anything else until we see good action or those prices are reasonable. And that price is the biggest question mark.
The biggest question mark. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, if you made it this far, you've made it to the kitchen. This week's kitchen might be a little tear jerker Chris, take it away. Hold on, I'm gonna get some tissues. Hold up, guys.
He's literally. Are you actually going to get
Just
tissues?
kidding. No, I'm not.
I was like, holy crap.
Shoot.
He's actually going for it.
I'm not that emotional. Come on.
We didn't have anything crazy for this week, but I was just thinking about it like as I'm getting ready to move into a house or whatever. And I was
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I
remember like
very excited.
We met like 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago that we met?
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago right now. It was in May.
Yeah. And actually in our first meeting, like around that time I was getting ready to like buy a house and stuff, and I was telling you kind of like, all right, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to get. You're self-employed, because I was self-employed. These are things you need to look out for, et cetera, et cetera. And look at you, man. Now you here. You made it.
I know. Adult. Dude, it's crazy. It feels like an adult buying a house. Feels like a whole lot of adulting. It's kind of crazy. But one of the things I started thinking about, because I was like, oh man, I should make like a video, like one of my last videos in this apartment. Oh yeah. And then I was like, dude, I've made basically 234 videos in this apartment. Sheesh. It's just kind of crazy. It just feels kind of like a, not end of an era, but like a turning point. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it would take at least 3 to 5 years to get to the spot I'm in now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's all just picked up. I mean, for a while, I just thought it was going to be like a for fun hobby thing. Like, I thought it'd be cool if I could do it full time. But I don't know. It's just all crazy to think about like where everything's come. And then, I just started thinking about like grateful that I get to do it. Like, obviously, I've met a lot of cool people. Like, I met you, John, Braden, like all my local pickleball friends. Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot to be grateful for in pickleball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm happy for you, bro. I can't wait for the housewarming party. About to, I'll bring a few kegs. I'll call up Doug. We'll throw a rager. It's going to be awesome.
I don't think you're going to get me to drink a drop of alcohol, so it might not be as much of a rager as you think.
Yeah. Basically, when I say a rager, Chris, I might pop you a root beer, and you might call it at 8 o'clock.
Now we're talking. So. Now we're talking. Maybe if we get really wild, it'll be a Mountain Dew. But no, I mean, dude, it's crazy to think, like, even just when we met, like, 2 years ago, we were both kind of like, yeah, this is cool. Wonder where this will go. Like, I don't know. It's just wild to see where it is.
It is. No, super grateful. I mean, I'm grateful as well. I got to give you the props, because you really taken everything and really taken it like next level. Like, just your videos, the pod, the equipment you got. And all I can say is you're welcome, Chris. That's what the host does. Okay.
You want to help with the down deposit on the house? Because I'd love that if that's what you want to host.
Nah, it's all good.
No, okay. That's kind of what I thought. Do you know what we're going to have to do?
What?
I think this is what we do. If it happens this year, I think I hope the court gets built this year, but it's going to be really close to fall, so who knows what the weather's going to be like anymore. But when I have it,
yeah,
you need to come, and that's when we need to refilm the rematch. Okay, we need to do it at my home court.
Yes. You have home court advantage, and when I beat you at your home court advantage at your actual home, there's no turning back, Chris. I'll be solidified as the true host of the Pickleball Studio podcast forever.
Here's the thing with this. I pretty much accept that I'm going to lose, because I just know you're a better singles player than I am. But my goal is to not get my butt kicked like the first time.
Oh, yeah. Not get pickled 3 times. Yes.
Yeah, that.
Can you please, you have to put on the court, we got to put some like decals or like something. It has to be, 3-5 at best, Pickleball Studio, the host side. You have to call one end of the court the host and the other side the co-host. Like,
oh my gosh,
come on, there's so many things we could do, dude. Oh, come on.
It'd be so much fun. I thought about some stuff. I was like, thinking about if I mocked up like a Pickleball Studio logo, like in the center, like of the kitchen. But as I was just thinking about it, I was like, man, I don't know. Some of that feels like it could be kind of like corny. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of just want like a nice court.
I mean, it could be just maybe like not in the court, but I think like outside of the court or something. I think even like a banner or something on the wall.
I could see like maybe outside the court or something.
Yeah. We'll make it tasteful. Okay. Just send the mock-ups to me. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay. I got you. Well, anything you got, Will?
Nah, man, that's about it, man. Just super happy for you, dude. And also grateful for you because I don't think I would have made it this far without you as well. So yeah, man, I'm super stoked for you, man. I can't wait until you get it all set up, and wishing you, me, and honestly all of our buddies that we met, John, Braden, everybody else, just lots of success moving forward. Yeah.
For sure. And obviously, thanks to everyone who watches this podcast. Literally, none of this would be possible without you. And all the people who make it this far, that's how we know you guys are like the super fans. Like anyone who makes it to the kitchen consistently, because these are long sometimes.
Anyone that gives us the jokes outside of the pod or in the comments, those are the true fans right there. We love that.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. So cool. Well, thanks for listening this week, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.